What happened to Sri Lanka?
The Forex crisis or the dollar crisis in the country was one of the main reasons for the fuel queues, gas queues and prolonged power outages. Our country earned dollars through foreign remittances, goods exported and services provided overseas. In January 2022, the government of Sri Lanka saw it fit to use $500 million at the bottom of the barrel in Sri Lanka's coffers to settle an installment due on sovereign bonds. Many leading economists pointed out that the payment of this installment of $500 million should be postponed, and that if that is not done, fuel and medicine shortages are imminent. But despite these warnings, the $500 million installment was paid. And with that, Sri Lanka lost its final few dollars. The Supreme Court judgment on the economic crisis, pronounced on the 14th of November last year, had analysed in detail the games played by those in power with Sri Lanka's foreign reserves that inevitably resulted in the economic crisis. Strengthening the rupee and increasing dollar reserves in the country contributes positively to the country's economy. What happens usually is the value of the dollar is decided on market forces based on supply and demand, while the central bank would only intervene if there is a grave threat to the economy. For example, if the value of the rupee is depreciating rapidly and drastically, the central bank would release dollars from the reserves into the market and strike a balance. The manner in which the value of the rupee is to be protected is spelt out in Sri Lanka's monetary law. When the country faced the economic crisis, the Monetary Board was empowered to unilaterally decide and forward recommendations to the Ministry of Finance on how the value of the rupee can be protected. When the recommendations are forwarded, the minister has to publish by way of gazette the manner in which the value of the rupee is decided. However, during the period between 2019 and 2021, the Minister of Finance had not acted in accordance to the monetary law of the country. This is not our opinion, but the opinion of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka. These arbitrary decisions were made at a time when dollars flowing into the country had depreciated in an unprecedented manner due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The value of the rupee depreciated drastically and the country's debt burden also increased. How did that happen? When the value of the rupee depreciates, the amount of rupees paid to settle the loans obtained in dollars also increase. According to the Supreme Court, the depreciation of the rupee was a result of actions taken based on misguided interpretations. The judgment of the Supreme Court also highlighted how the tactics employed to protect the rupee that was on a nosedive had depleted the country's foreign reserves. On two occasions during the period between the 21st of April 2021 and the 7th of March 2022, the central bank had sold $1,773.8 million and purchased $746 million from the local market. Do you remember how the value of the dollar was pegged to 200 rupees for some time? In the end, 100 million from the $500 million given by the Chinese Development Bank had also been used to stabilize the rupee. When Sri Lanka's foreign reserves depleted, they could not continue to artificially hold on to the value of the rupee. Those in power couldn't even hold on to the government anymore. On the 7th of March 2022, Sri Lanka had to remove the artificial control on the dollar. The result was that the value of the dollar against the rupee, that was at 202 rupees and 99 cents, depreciated to 370 rupees. The Sri Lankan economy was hit hard. A country's economy cannot be maintained by officials and leaders who take inept decisions. Both economic principles and practicality must be considered. In the end, decisions of those in power resulted in Sri Lanka becoming bankrupt. These matters must be investigated. Those who benefited from Sri Lanka's bankruptcy must be investigated. Steps must be taken to ensure that something like this never happens again. Is this not what the people are demanding for?
News First with the people.